Hey guys, today I'm filming the intro for the Zodiac Panner project pan. All of the relevant information will be in the description. I am turning it into a all eyeshadow project. I have seen other panners do that before, and I thought it would be fun because I'm not doing a separate pan palette this year. So most of the eyeshadows here will just have usage goals because I'm very bad at using up or hitting pan on eyeshadows, but I think it will still be fun. I'm going to be working on 12 eyeshadows. To start with, the first prompt is Aries, which is red, like the color red. I decided to go for the red in my Pat McGrath Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction palette. I don't have the names because they were in a plastic protector, and I think I threw that out sadly. So this is what that looks like. It's a metallic red, and I have it swatched out right here. As you can see, my goal with this one is to use it 12 times for the 12 months and the 12 prompts in this project. Then the second prompt is Taurus, which includes the colors pastel shades of pink, pale blue, and green. I decided to go with a kind of satin pastel pink. It's this single right here, and this is the swatch of that. As you can see, it's a very pale pastel pink. I don't really know the shade of it because there's no sort of label on the back. It's probably from either MAC or NYX though, but I cannot tell you which shade it is. It doesn't really matter. I think this has probably been discontinued even if I knew the name. But my goal with that is 22 uses. 22 for the year 2022. That's like the way I selected most of the goals. The next prompt is Gemini, which is actually my zodiac, and that's the color yellow, which matte yellow is my favorite eyeshadow color. I decided to go with the yellow from the ColourPop Yes Please palette. It's a really nice matte yellow, and that's the shade right there. As you can see, it's a very bright yellow, and that's the kind I like the best. My goal is to use this 22 times as well. The next prompt is Cancer, and for that the colors are Silvery Blue or Smoky Gray. I decided to go with this sort of smoky gray, slightly metallic shade, and that is the swatch for that. As you can see, it is kind of a mid-tone gray, but because it's such a cool tone color, when you build it up, it does look darker on your skin. My goal with this is to use it 12 times because it's a metallic. I think it might be hard to pair with it because I wouldn't want to wear it all over the lids, but I usually don't like deeper metallics to deepen up looks. I prefer mattes for that. So yeah, 12 uses for that one. The next prompt is Leo, yellow or orange, colors of the sun, and for that I decided to go with a shade from my Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. It's right here, and this is in the shade Chrism, I think. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but there is a swatch of that. And my goal is just to use this 12 times. I don't really like orange shades on me very much, so 12 is already going to be kind of hard for me. The next prompt is Virgo, green and dark brown. For that, I decided to bring in a shade from my Tarte palette, and it's this one right here. This was originally in my 50 Shades of Purple project pan because of the packaging, and my goal was to hit pan on it. As you can see, I've hit quite a significant amount of pan on this, and the product that's left in here is also pretty thin. I still enjoy using it. It's a very cool toned brown, and my goal is just to use it 22 times for this project, but I will try to finish it off. It's just that even if I don't finish it off by the end of this project, I wouldn't mind too much because I have other cool toned browns I also like. It's just if I can finish it off, I will try. But yeah, my main goal is just to use it the 22 times. And there's a swatch of that. As you can see, it's a pretty dark brown, and yeah. Then the next one is which one is it? Libra. That's pink, pale green, and various shades of blue. For that, I decided to go for Natasha Denona Python from the Gold palette. I had previously worked on this one as well, and I really like this shade. It's this one right here. It's a very tealy blue, and yeah, that's probably my favorite type of blue. Like either teal blue or like true blues are my favorite. I don't like purpley blues as much, but I still like them kinda. But yeah, my goal with this one is to use it 22 times. That's a pretty high usage goal, but I know from past experience that this is a shade that I just really like. Also, it goes well with some of these other shades, as well as probably even the matte yellow. So yeah, I think because of that, I can go with a higher usage goal. The next prompt is Scorpio, Deep Red, and Maroon. For that, I decided to go for ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Drift. My goal is to use this 12 times as well. I consider the goal of hitting pan, but the only Super Shock Shadow I hit pan on took me like 30 uses. Also, this one is kind of drying out a little bit, and I might have to end up reviving it. It might crumble or crack, so I think trying to hit pan on it would be just an inconvenient goal to have during that time. But that's a swatch of that right there. As you can see, compared to the bright, slightly warmer red from the Pat McGrath palette, it's much more cool toned and much deeper. It's also less metallic. It has a little bit of sparkle, but overall it's much less shiny than that one. I do like the color though. I have grown more fond of these types of colors during the last year. Then the next prompt is Sagittarius, rich purples and dark blues. For that, I decided to go for the dark brown, the dark purple in the Pat McGrath palette, which is right here. And I'm sorry that I'm having such a hard time showing this palette, but the whole thing is very reflective, so it's very inconvenient. But that's the swatch right there. It's a very, very dark shade of purple. When you blend it out, you can see some of the purple, but mostly it just looks like a blackened purpley shade. It's not my favorite formula, but it's a nice color, and I think it will go well with the red, the maroon, the pink, and maybe even the gray. So my goal with this one is to actually use it 22 times, just because I think it's a shade I can use with colors in this project, as well as like other purples and like pinky plummy shades that I might have elsewhere. essentially. So yeah, 22 uses for that one. The next prompt is Capricorn, which is subdued dark green, gray, black, and brown. For that, I decided to go with another Natasha Denona Metropolis shade. This one is in Zodiac, I believe. And my goal with this one is to use it 22 times, just because it is a pretty, like, it looks kind of neutral next to the dark brown, but it does have a hint of like a yellowy undertone. So it is a warmer brown, but it's one I prefer over like orangey warm browns. On my skin tone, these types of browns look very natural. So my goal is to use it 22 times. Again, I think it's a shade I can pair with other shades really easily. It's also one I might be able to use like for work looks and just use a really sheer amount and, you know, have it blended out to look pretty natural. So yeah, 22 uses for that one. Then next up is Aquarius, electric blue and turquoise. And for this prompt, I decided to go with the shade Shattered from my Urban Decay Ammo palette. This was my palette palette for 2021. So I have quite a lot of progress on most of the shades, and yeah, my goal for this one would actually be to try to finish it. That is a goal I usually don't like to go for because, again, I really struggle with finishing eyeshadows, and this is obviously not a easy everyday eyeshadow for me. But I do still really like this shade, and I used up more than half of the product. There's a lot of product left on the sides, but again, less than half left, and I think I might be able to finish it. So I'm going to try. It's that turquoisey blue shade right there. And yeah, we'll see how this one goes. This is probably the one I'm most scared of, just because, like, I don't know how many uses it might take to try to finish that off. It might be done in 30 uses, it might take 100 uses, nobody knows. Whereas with usage goals, it's easier to track them and know how far you have gotten and how much further off you are, basically. Then the last prompt is Pisces, which is soft sea green. For that, I decided to go with this one right here. This is ColourPop Soul Sister from the Aura and Out palette. It's from their Pastel collection, or maybe their tie-dye collection. I don't know. They have a lot of collections. It's one of the 9-pan palettes. And yeah, it's really pretty. It is a super shock shadow, but it's like in a pan and in a palette instead. So yeah, my goal with this one is to use it 12 times. It's a nice enough shade. It's kind of similar to the shade Prismatic from JD Glow, like one of their Galaxy shadows. It's right here. It's very similar in terms of color, but this one's icier and it's also like a sheer topper, whereas Prismatic has a lot more pigment to it. Prismatic is also like one with very little base color, so technically you could use that one as topper too, but it's so pigmented that you can also use it on its own. Whereas this one, if you use it on its own, you're going to be able to see a lot of your skin underneath through it. So yeah, I think it should be an interesting shade to work with. I considered like whether I would be able to use this on top of that one, but I tried to do it in a swatch and it didn't really work. I'll try it on my eyes as well, but Otherwise, these might be competing shades because they are slightly similar. Obviously, different types of products, but kind of similar. But yeah, that is my complete color story. Obviously, I have some like easier goals, like these top 5 I only want to use 12 times each, and then these bottom 6 I want to use 22 times each. But I do think that there are some shades that I might be wearing on their own, or I might not pair with other shades in this project. So I don't know how long it'll take me to meet all of my goals, but I am still excited for this project. I will try to update monthly, but I probably wouldn't be posting my updates on the 20th because I have other projects that also update around that time. I'm still not sure when I'll be updating it, but I will try my best to update this project monthly unless my progress is really slow, in which case I might switch to like every other month, updates every other month. We'll see. Now, one of the good things about the products I selected is that it's only like these 5 products. Everything is like right here, so hopefully at least my everyday like makeup area wouldn't be too overly crowded. But yeah, that is all for the intro. I've been rambling for a long time, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye guys.